Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So, today we're talking about the Fantasticar. There's been a lot of talk about this card leading up to its release. We saw some information in the data mines that had people concerned, but we couldn't be sure of how this card was going to be actually releasing until it happened. The data mines had some conflicting information. Some people thought it was going to be in the new upcoming mode, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. But the release is here, and the Fantasticar is confirmed to be locked behind the super premium tier of the season pass. And I think that's a decision a lot of people aren't going to be super happy with. So I wanted to talk about my thoughts and feelings about this type of thing, and the path Marvel Snap is continuing to go down. Now, I want to be very clear. Before the whole Kid Omega situation, I probably would have bought this Fantasticar thing. Given the amount I play the game and doing content on it, I don't personally find $10 for another card to be that much of a huge ask. However, I'm not going to be buying the Fantasticar. And the reason for that is fairly simple. I think by adding more of these cards that are locked behind a timed paywall, unless you're willing to cough up some dollars, is bad for the game. Now, I'm sure someone's going to say, but wait, we have the season pass and people are okay with that. What's the big deal about adding like another season pass on here? And my response to that is simple. The pass was a pretty established precedent at the start of the game. When you started playing Marvel Snap, whether you joined at launch, later on, or all the way back in beta, the pass was established as, hey, this is a core component of how we're going to be monetizing our game and producing content around it. And on top of that, the pass has always been far and away the best value in the game, because not only are you getting a card for $10, but you're getting a lot of bonus resources and cosmetics on top of it. And that's why many players are pass-only players, because it gives you a level of value that nothing else in the game really comes close to. And it's no secret that the super premium pass has been pretty lacking in value ever since it was introduced. So from a business POV, I get where they're coming from with this. They're trying to find a way to juice some extra value into the super premium pass to get more people to buy it, while at the same time they're trying to ramp up the amount of cards they're producing. This seems like kind of a natural conclusion for them to come to. And even though I think this always wouldn't have gone over well with some players, I think it would have gone over a lot better if it wasn't right off the heels of the Kid Omega situation. Because we have very rapidly gone from, all right, well, there's one card locked behind a paywall where you can get it after a month, to now there are 3 of them. I think each time you add another card behind one of these paywalls, especially a card like Kid Omega where the paywall was pretty significantly higher than the $10 of the season pass or $20 of the super premium pass, people get a bigger distaste for it. And we don't know how far this is going to go. Are they going to be adding a new Series 4 card in the Super Premium Pass every month going forward? Is this something they're going to do every once in a while? Are they going to do more expensive cards in game modes like Kid Omega? It's really up in the air how many of these cards they're going to do. But I firmly believe that the more of these cards they put behind a timed paywall, the more angry the player base is going to get. Especially so when a lot of players who have spent a good bit of money on the game are sitting on piles of thousands of tokens that very conveniently aren't quite as useful as they used to be. I also want to mention why they're doing this in the specific way they're doing this real quickly. Probably a topic I could make a whole other video on just in and of itself, but the short version is this. People who have spent a good bit of money in this game are drowning in tokens. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of tokens. I'm someone who's in this boat. I have 200,000 tokens. And that number has not really been dropping too much in spite of picking up all the new releases and not putting any more spending into the game outside of the season pass. So the reason that Second Dinner is introducing these paywalled and time-walled cards is pretty obvious to me. Most mobile games make their money from a very small percent of spenders. That small percent of spenders has more tokens than they know what to do with. So instead of giving people the option to get cards for tokens, which their most active spenders have a lot of, they're trying to get those spenders to spend money on different things. Because if they just put them out for tokens, people who use their token pile don't actually have to spend money buying gold or buying a pass or what have you. So if you're wondering why they're making these decisions, specifically avoiding tokens, that's why. I really want to reiterate with the Kid Omega situation, if Kid Omega just came out right after the event ended for tokens, I think the blowback would have been like 1/10 of what it was. it's not just the fact that they're trying to get people to pay a lot of money for these cards. It's the fact that if you are not wanting to pay the money for the cards, you're going to have a long time wait before you can use your free-to-play or, in some cases, paid resources. That's really the problem that is at the heart of all this. And naturally, if the Fantasticar is something they want to do going into the future, it's definitely going to raise some questions for players who previously just spent that $10 a month. Do I spend the $20 every month now? Do I double my spending on Marvel Snap if you're a pass-only player? And I want to be clear, I don't think the value on the surface is super bad. It's not a Kid Omega situation of them charging a crazy price. In fact, $10 for a Series 4 card and some bonus border cosmetics is probably one of the cheaper deals you can find in the game when it comes to card acquisition. But again, I don't think this is just about the price. The price isn't what I really take an issue with. But again, I don't think, like with the Kid Omega situation where the price was a huge part of the issue, I think for many players, the time gating is as big of an issue, if not a bigger one. And that is still very present with this release of the Fantasticar. Now, personally, I think the Super Premium Pass has been in need of additional value for a while. It really has never been a great value. If you like collecting variants and there's a variant in there you really like that month, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it is not a very compelling offer for a majority of players. So I'm not surprised they're trying to do something to make it more enticing. However, what I would have preferred, and what we actually saw them experiment with in the data mines a bit, is I think the Super Premium Pass should be used as a way to help players catch up a bit on some of their missing cards. Before Super Premium came out, we saw some data mine stuff where they were offering previous season pass cards in the Super Premium Pass, so it acted as a way for you to catch up. Like a season or two after the Symbiote Spider-Man season, they threw in a Symbiote Spider-Man into the Super Premium and maybe another card. And this gives players who maybe took some time off of the game, or maybe they're a new player who just started playing, it gives them an opportunity to catch up on some interesting cards that they might have otherwise missed. And this avoids the problem with the time-gated paywall entirely because these are already released cards. Sure, it won't juice up the value for the long-term players who are buying the pass every season. I still think there's a lot of potential in a product like that for new and returning players that can be using the Super Premium as a catch-up mechanic. And I think this is even more possible now that we have snap packs, to where you don't have to offer a specific card. You could offer a seasonal snap pack. You could offer multiple of the older snap packs, just giving players a way to fill out their collection more. And if you want agency, you could even use collector's tokens, though I don't think they would go that far with it. The point is, I think there are a lot of ways they could go about adding some extra value into the Super Premium section of the pass without adding another time-gated paywalled card. Now, is the Fantasticar itself going to be super problematic? I'm leaning towards no. I do not think it is a Kid Omega power level card, and one of the silver linings about this card in specific is it's very clearly trying to synergize with the new Fantastic Four, right? All the new Fantastic Four are focused around these end-of-turn abilities, and the Fantasticar is saying, hey, you can reuse your end-of-turn abilities this turn. Well, due to Marvel Snap's release schedule, by the time the last of the Fantastic Four comes out, this card will be releasing like 1 week later in Snap Packs and the shop. So I think there's a fairly reasonable chance that by the time this card even becomes relevant or good, it'll be available shortly afterwards outside of the pass. So I don't think it's going to feel quite as bad as something like Kid Omega did. But again, I think the principle of the matter and the fact that we are now up to 3 time-gated cards is really what's going to be bugging people more than access to this card in specific. As such, I personally will not be purchasing this card through the Premium Season Pass and will be waiting for it to enter the Snap Pack system next month. I want to be clear that I don't have a problem spending money on card games. I'm not someone who believes every player should get every card for free. I don't think that's a sustainable model for a lot of games, and I have no qualms spending money on games that I get a lot of time and enjoyment out of. But what I don't enjoy and what I don't want to support are second dinner making decisions that are rapidly continuing to erode the online community around this game, which I and many others have built their content off of. It's no secret that the Marvel Snap community has been in decline for a while, and it feels like some of these recent monetization decisions are speeding that up pretty rapidly. A lot of people like to talk about the game like it's going to die tomorrow, but I've been around many mobile games before, both big and small, and I know with the amount of money Marvel Snap is making, it's not like it's going to disappear in a day or a month or a year. I do not think that's a realistic outcome. However, like other mobile games, I think there's a high chance that the lifespan of the game outlives the online active community around it, which is comprised of all the people who are probably watching this video. If you like watching Snap content on YouTube or Twitch or talking about it in a Discord, the risk of that stuff declining massively or even dying is significantly higher than the game actually dying itself. I know that's probably not the most popular opinion to have. People want to hear like, oh, they're making a bad decision. Oh, the game is going to die because of it. But in my experience, that's just not the reality of the situation, especially for a game making this much money. We've seen it with Twitch drops. Marvel Snap has a massive casual audience, and I bet half of them don't even know what a Kid Omega is. So I think it's helpful to have a bit of perspective on how the company feels like, hey, we can just ride out all this online controversy because ultimately we have enough players who just aren't tuned in and just don't care about this stuff. But for me, at least, that is 100% defining my decisions in how I'm continuing to or not to support Marvel Snap in the future. As a result of them making these decisions that have been nothing but detrimental to the online community, I have pulled back my spending entirely. The only thing I'll be purchasing in this game is the regular season pass, because it's a model I've always been okay with, and nothing else has really changed there. But I'm not buying any of these $10 or $15 or $20 bundles or the super premium, because I just don't feel good about supporting a company making these decisions that are actively harming the community many of us are pretty passionate about. And if you feel similarly to how I do, the only thing I can recommend is to not engage with these practices, as that sends a much louder message than any form of verbal communication can. Are they going to continue to ramp up more of these paywall time-gated cards? Are we going to see the Super Premium Series 4 card be a new edition every month? We don't really know right now. But I'd be curious to hear from you. What do you think about the Fantasticar, the Super Premium Pass, and upping your budget and Snap from $10 a month for one card and some extra stuff to $20 a month for two cards and some extra stuff? Is that acceptable to you? Are you happy to do that? Do you think it's better than the other offers they traditionally sell in the shop? Is it too far for you? Is that too expensive? Do you just not like supporting the practice? I'm curious to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be streaming some of the new season later on tonight, so if you want to see some gameplay with the new cards that aren't Fantasticar, come check it out here on YouTube or over on Twitch. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.